to the Costa Rica channel. The reason for today's video is to talk about Costa Rica in the times of COVID. Really it was inspired by yesterday's announcement that Americans need a negative COVID test in order to go back into the US after they've stayed in Costa Rica. At the end of this video I'm going to give a few phone numbers of where you can actually get your test done, and I'll link to a couple of websites that will be useful for you. And really to just talk about my experiences here. I'm in Tamarindo, which for me is one of the nicest beach towns. And I just wanted to explain to you a little bit about what life is like here in Costa Rica, what the rules are in order to get in, like what paperwork you need to fill in and what insurance you need, etc. And then at the end I'm going to talk about what you need in order to get your test in order to get back in. Richard Lacey. I'm from Nottingham in England. I've lived in Costa Rica for 25 years. My objective with this channel is to provide as much information as I can to people who are thinking about moving down here or buying a holiday home or moving permanently to Costa Rica. I seem to get a lot of the same sort of questions. I thought a good idea would be to put all the information together in a series of videos, and then everything's all the resources in one place. So if you like the information I'm providing, then please click below to subscribe and like, and also click alerts so that when I produce the next video, then you get a little notification that it's there. It'll also help other people with a similar sort of questions be able to find my channel. Yesterday the announcement was made that Americans returning to the US after they've stayed in Costa Rica or anywhere need to have a negative COVID test. So I've had a lot of questions about people asking me if they should be cancelling their trips down here. What's the day-to-day life down here under the COVID restrictions? And then how on earth are they going to get a test before they get back and get in without having to self-quarantine? So first of all, life here, it's actually really great. I mean, tourist season is generally January, February, March, and all of the bars and restaurants tend to get very busy at the beaches. And right now they're not. Yeah, partly because the restaurants can only be open a certain percentage, they can't have all the tables open. But just because there aren't that many people down here, the Canadians are having a lot of trouble getting in with the restrictions that they have there, and also some of the Europeans. So really our market at the moment here are the Americans, and it's really nice. They have plenty of space on the beaches, the restaurants, the beach bars. It feels like it's low season, but we're actually in the absolute best weather. So I would say if you're planning a trip, make sure you follow all the rules, but I would say definitely come down here. It's really great, and weather is perfect, 80s every day, here out till sort of April. And it's 27th of January today, so the rules might change in the future, but I'll just tell you how things are today, and then put some links below to useful resources. Like Tico Times always keeps up to date on what the rules are. US Embassy has good information there. So firstly, as far as coming down here, first thing you need to do after you've got your ticket is within 3 days you need to fill in a Costa Rican health passport. And that's just a questionnaire just to show that you're healthy, and there's a link to that underneath. The other thing you need is a special kind of insurance, a health insurance, so that if you do get COVID while you're in the country, then you're not a burden on the Costa Rican health system. You can check with your own insurance company because it's possible that they cover this, but then you need to really make sure because the Costa Rican government is only accepting certain insurance policies. The easiest and simplest way is to click on, again, a link below, and there are 2 or 3 different insurance companies that have already been pre-approved by the Costa Rican government, and they charge a price per day depending on whether it's you and family members. And I looked at the numbers and it seemed fairly reasonable, so just for ease I would just do that. Then another question I got was about what is it like coming through the airports. And it's actually fairly easy. As long as you've got all your paperwork together, it's actually easier because there are less crowds. And so, I sailed. I've done quite a lot of traveling over the last few months in COVID times, and it's been very straightforward. The airlines are the ones that are checking all your documentation. So really, that's the only stressful bit, because the airlines, of course, are on the hook for if you get turned back, then they have to pay for you to get back. So they're the ones sort of vetting that you've got all your documentation. But once you get through that, then actually on the planes, you have to wear the mask for the entire journey. When you get to Costa Rica, they're very organised and very strict, and as far as following the health regulations and the social distancing, and the airports in Costa Rica are pristinely clean. I got a van up from the airport up to Tamarindo, where I'm talking to you from. They had that cleaned up and everything there. We were socially distanced, and that all worked really well too. So I think that when you're down here, you're as safe as you are anywhere. In the beach towns, I can't really speak to San Jose, which is a little bit of an island because it's a busy city, but then you don't want to spend your time there anyway. And at the beaches, everything's outdoor anyway, so it's just very naturally socially distanced, open air. Tables a little bit more spread out than normal, which is actually nicer. And on the beaches, it's great, plenty of room, and everybody just seems to naturally keep their distance. So I don't think you're at any more risk here than anywhere else. And so far, as of today, the number of cases in Costa Rica have been really low. So we've been really fortunate so far, and fingers crossed it stays that way. The bars and restaurants are closing early. I think they have to close at 7 p.m. So you do need to sort of just think about what time you're going out for dinner and things like that. And on the whole, I haven't felt it change my quality of life here, of enjoying my time here. Now, as far as going home and getting your COVID test, US is accepting different types of COVID test. The most reliable one is called a PCR test. You need to have had a test within 72 hours of flying back to the US, and normally the results take 48 hours. So you need to plan it sort of with a little bit of precision, just so you're getting your test done on the right date to make sure you get your results in time. And then they'll check that once you get to the airport. Around here in Tamarindo, they just announced it yesterday that this was a requirement, and already I've heard of 2 or 3 different test centres here where they're doing their tests. The hygiene here, and healthcare in general in Costa Rica, is brilliant. It's as good as any other first world country. So, I'm sure that as far as getting in and having your test done, and the precision and the cleanliness within the clinics here is going to be just the same as it would be back home. Well, when I had my test, I had a little app, and within 48 hours, the results popped up on my app, and then I just showed that at check-in, and it was a really very straightforward process. So I've had lots of people saying, should they be cancelling their holidays? I'd say absolutely not. Come down here and enjoy it, and have an absolutely fantastic time. Take care and follow the rules, but I think you'll have a great time here. So if you look below, I'll add a few phone numbers in for local places within the Tamarindo area. If you're staying in other beach towns, I'm sure there'll be ones available there. If you check the Tico Times and the other resources down here below, I'm sure you'll find other places to have your tests and everything. So if this has been useful to you, please subscribe below, click on the alerts, and give me a like, and that will really help me. Thank you very much, and have a great stay.